In this Palworld video, I bring you what in my opinion are the best pals to butcher. Yes, as mean and wicked as that sounds, with the inclusion of the new items in the Feybreak DLC, it's never been easier, and because many pals in the game offer very important and useful materials which will definitely help you guys and your progression, butchering pals has never been more popular. How's it going, guys? My name is DPJ, and if you do enjoy the video, leaving a like really helps out, and if you like what you see and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. So with Palworld coming more and more popular with the Feybreak update, although the Palworld Dissasembly line was added way before that, more and more people are starting to use it. What this means is if you're able to mass breed or mass catch certain pals, you can take advantage of this machine for certain loot that particular pals do indeed drop. Now I just want to mention, butchering pals with a cleaver has its benefits over this machine because pals like Terraria will increase drops with that cleaver, but as far as I'm aware, this pal doesn't have the same effect when using the machine. But the machine is a much faster way, so just better in my opinion. So what pals should you be breeding or even catching to mass butcher so you can reap the benefits of the items that they do indeed drop? Well, I should first state, if you are breeding pals for this benefit or even plan to after watching this video, if you can land a philanthropist passive on parents, it massively increases breeding time. Also, I do believe passives that increase work rate will also increase breeding time too. So if you didn't know that, that is another tip for you. To be honest, it's something I've not just long learned about, I haven't tested it myself, so don't quote me on that, please. So yeah, these certain passives may be something you want to look out for, whether when catching pals to breed to butcher or the passives on a baby bred to butcher. Just keep an eye out. So I have done a lot of breeding and a lot of butchering, and while all pals do drop items, well, not all, 99% of them do, but for me, in my opinion, the majority of them are pretty useless. But if I do miss a pal out you feel definitely should be mentioned, drop a comment down below. Okay, so if you are a breeder of pals trying to perfect passives and power, pal souls are a massive part of the process in perfecting a certain pal in regards to leveling it up and making it the best it possibly can become. But pal souls, although they ain't the hardest to come by, get used up pretty quickly if you are indeed maxing out multiple pals. So having an endless source to pal souls may be a benefit to you. Luckily enough, there are certain pals in which you can easily get breed and butcher, which will give you these pal souls. So let's start with the small pal souls. The best pal in my understanding to get these is Nox. Now this nighttime spawning pal only can be quite the elusive pal to catch, but it's easily bred and it's a perfect pal to mass butcher. I believe it does have like a 30 to 40% chance of dropping those small pal souls upon you butchering it. But yeah, small pal souls are obviously the least important in this regard and the easiest to come by, but having enough of them for what you want to be doing is something you don't want to fall behind on. Now in regards to medium pal souls, there are two pals I feel you should be looking to mass butcher. The first is the nighttime spawning only bushy nut. This isn't hard to find whatsoever. This guy, upon you butchering him, will not only drop you those medium pal souls, but also drop you those flame organs and ingots too, so it's a win-win-win here with this pal. Another pal who also only spawns at night, who is found in the same areas of bushy nut, is Wixen nut. This pal under you butchering drops medium pal souls too. So here guys, you have two options to get these medium pal souls. Now the large and giant pal souls are obtained via butchering the following. Anubis. This pal is one of the easiest to breed because of the amount of combinations of parents which result in an Anubis baby. But this guy, upon you butchering it, not only drops you those large pal souls, but he also drops you those innovative technical manuals, which are great because they reward you those technical points if you need them to unlock more blueprints. But the large pal souls are what we want here. Now breeding Anubis for this very reason and mass butchering him is literally, as far as I'm aware, the fastest and quickest way to get the giant pal souls also. Not because Anubis drops these, he does not drop these, but because using the crushers that the game gives you will allow you to make giant pal souls from large pal souls, and this is the fastest way in my opinion to get those giant pal souls. So with power souls out of the way, what other things can you get from butchering pals? Well, my mug or me mug, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, is also a great pal to mass butcher. So this pal, which is an easy catch and quite a common pal to see, if you mass breed and catch this pal, upon you butchering him, he not only drops you gold, which is great, he also gives you training manuals, which will reward you XP experience for your pals, which is great if you want to level up a pal quickly which you have not long caught or even bred. So definitely one to keep in mind. I have tons of these stocked up for when that perfect pal arrives. You cannot have too many of these training manuals which reward you this XP for your pals, people. Now, a few other pals that may help you out, but if I'm honest, not in any massively meaningful way. It depends on where you are in the game. Now, unless you are too busy to farm or have more cakes than brain cells, you could look at Kaikit, I believe it's pronounced, and Maraith. Both of these pals, upon you butchering them, will give you that crude oil, but gains ain't much better than the oil extractors, if I'm completely honest with you. Yes, you can mass breed these pretty fast. Are they worth your cakes and the farm it takes to make cakes? I'm not too sure, but we all know that oil in this game is probably the rarest source in regards to how quick you can actually farm it. It doesn't matter if you have 2 oil extractors on a single node and you have 3 of these nodes in a base and you have multiple of these. Crude oil is still a slow farm. I mean, yes, you could farm the oil rigs and get a few from there, but it's still just a grind. So yeah, another way of getting crude oil, guys, is mass breeding or mass capturing these pals and then butchering them. But that's completely up to you. I'm not sure it's worth your time and the actual resources it requires to make cakes to do this. Another pal which I actually butchered just to see what it would drop was Salvages, I believe that's pronounced. This is a world boss you can catch, but it's also home to many breeding combos. But upon you butchering this pal, guys, you get Chromite. So if you don't want to run around with a metal detector or smoky looking for this stuff, this could be a decent shout. But drops are indeed minimal. They ain't absolutely crazy. Now, a half decent pal to actually butcher might be Lylene for you. This pal drops multiple things like low grade and medical supplies and ancient civilization parts. The low grade medical supplies are great for your base pals if that's something you are into, or if you just like to see them suffer, skip Lylene. But yeah, guys, there we have it, the best pals in my opinion, or I've come across anyway under my testing, to indeed butcher in large quantities. They're actually useful for you. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, leaving a like really helps out. If you like what you see and want to see more, be sure to subscribe, and hopefully, guys, I will see you on that next one.